to
talk about something, and that's when they arrested
you. Yes, arrested me every time.
I don't think I knew you were going down there. I think I just...
You didn't know I was going because they showed up to the house. They knocked on the door.
Right.
They was like, we got information about the kidnapping. And then they would take me down there and put me into that holding cell you was talking about.
Yeah.
And freeze me to death for hours.
Yeah.
Then drill me. Then that's when they gave me a call. My first time they gave me a call was when they said they were gonna charge me with marijuana. And I called you, and it was that night, and I talked to you on the phone. And they brought the phone to me in that holding cell. And you was like, you don't know what was going on. It was nighttime when I was talking on the phone. You was like, you didn't know what was going on, and you don't know why they charged me with this. I told you they wanted me to tell them about the kidnapping, and I didn't know anything. And then when I hung the phone up with you, they took me to jail for possession of marijuana.
Okay.
They let me out for that.
Yeah.
Then,
well, that's a misdemeanor. What are they going to do, hold you over?
Well, they didn't have no marijuana anyway. But then...
Of course.
They let me out, and then that's when we was going through the lawsuit. We was waiting and for the police to find out what happened.
Right.
Weeks later, they came again to the house, was saying about they got information. I went back down there.
And that's when they
charged me with the loot and the Civic.
And that's when I think I got a call from your mom saying, Craig's down at the police memorial building. They're charging him with... And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I come over there, and they're like, listen, this part, I remember. They're like, we've got it. He's part of it, Rick. He's part of it. And why did you... I guess they were telling me it's going to be easier on him if he confesses. I can't remember what their logic was. Because I was a prosecutor. I know better than that. You shouldn't say anything. If you had something to do with it. So I'm like, did you? And you're like, no, I had nothing to do with it. But they're like, we've got it. I'm telling you. I'm like, what do you have? Well, we can't tell you that. But we got it. You need to talk to him. He needs to come clean. And they went on with me for, I don't know, 5, 10. It's like, and I'm like, so what do you have? What, Oh, I can't tell you that. You're his lawyer, man. We can't tell you that. We can't tell you. But we got good stuff. But he needs to come clean. He needs to tell us. So I would go back, and I remember I went back and talked to you a couple times, and I kept coming out saying, look, dude, he says he didn't have anything to do with it. And he was in jail, when this happened. What do you... I'm having a hard time seeing it. You know somebody talking? And they're like, well, we can't tell you any of that. So I'm like, well, he says he didn't, and I have no reason not to believe my client, He says he didn't do it. You're telling me he did, and you got evidence, and I know how that goes, because I was a prosecutor, and I just remember walking away, and it was a gradual thing, but I became very disappointed with Phil Kearney, who was our investigator as a prosecutor's office, and he had worked cases for me, and he flat out lied to me, because they didn't have anything on you. And I sat around and I thought about it. I'm like, what? I'm sure they were under a lot of pressure to come up with answers, and they sat around and, probably tried to, figure out who is it, where, they got this list of possible suspects, and they kept coming back to you, I guess, and said, well, let's shake him down and see. So they put the hard shakedown on you, but they didn't have anything, and you weren't telling them anything because you didn't do it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which gradually became clear to me. I'm like, okay, they're going to charge him any day, and they're definitely not going to have a confession from you, but they're going to have some other, and this is going to be this big breaking news story. They didn't have anything. They were fishing, and rather than apologize to you or say, all right, or acknowledging, so we were wrong. It's sort of like the Richard Jewell situation. They were wrong about him. They ruined that guy's life. He was a hero. You were the victim. You're the dad, and your baby was stolen while you were in jail, but who cares? and you're the victim. And instead, they prosecuted you for having impregnated his mother. And they wouldn't back off that. And they ultimately got you to plead to that. And I remember you were in jail. I looked it up. You got 8 months. So I know you were in jail for a while. So what happened was, I think I tried to get the bond reduced.
Because at that time,
I see my name in there. It's bond reduction. I don't remember that, but apparently I did.
Around that time with
and then your lawyer with the PD's office was Pat Kaiser. Do you remember her?
Pat Kaiser.